Hello again everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to contour and highlight for your face shape. So keep on watching. So today I just wanted to show you all how to contour for your face shape and also how to highlight. Contour and highlighting is such a big thing these days. I feel that a lot of the more mature women and men out there as well shy away a wee bit from contouring and highlighting. I think when you say contour to people, they expect to see these unblended orange lines on your face, but that is a trend that's going around at the minute. Personally, that looks not for me. I do like to contour and highlight, but I do prefer a more natural blended sort of sculpted look. So today I'm going to be showing you how I create that myself and give you some little tips on your own face shape for different issues. So yeah, let's get right into it then. So I'm just pushing my hair at my face just so you can see my sort of face shape here. So I'm a bit more rounded in the face. I do have cheekbones in there somewhere, so I do like to accentuate them and make them look a bit higher and a bit fuller. With my nose, my issue is I like to keep it a bit slimmer down here and a bit more even. And then sometimes I just like to contour a little bit under here. So again, not everybody will contour their face the same way. That's my issues, and as I go along in this video I'll point out other issues that if you maybe have a bigger nose or smaller nose, ways that you can make it look bigger or smaller. I just want to tell you a little bit about contouring a bit more. There's different ways you can do it. You do just have straightforward powder, you can just use a powder. Some people use cream based contours, so a lot of these things that you'll get just now are sticks, contour sticks and highlight sticks, which seem to be quite popular. And some people like to use a bit of cream contour and then powder on top of that, or some people just like to use straight up cream, or some people just like to use powder. I preferably, if it's just more of a day look, I will just use powder. One, it's just quicker for me if I'm busy, I need to go out, leave quite early and things, and two, it's a bit more of a natural feel to the face, where I just want to add a little bit of sculpture to my face. If I was to be going on a night out, then I could sometimes, I do probably go in with a little bit of a cream and then on top with a powder, but that's if I'm going full glam. But today I'm just going to show you how to do an everyday kind of contour look, so I'm just going to be using powders. First thing, when you're getting a contour powder, there's so many on the market these days in so many different shades and tones. I prefer going for something that's a bit more on the cooler side rather than the warm side. So you really have to do your shopping around to get the right shade for you. Again, there's different prices and brands available. The two I've got here that I'm going to use today is my Natasha Denona. It's a contour sculpting powder. You can see that. I can't remember off the top of my head how much it was, but I know Natasha Denona is more of a high-end sort of brand. It's quite expensive, and I've used it quite well. It's a nice powder. I do like that one. It's not too warm and it's not too cool, so it's not going to be too ashen looking, but again, you're not going to look orange with that. So I do like that one. And then I've also got the Too Faced, they're milk chocolate Soleil. I don't know how you say that. It's their light medium matte bronzer. So again, things will be called bronzers or contour powders. There's a little bit of difference. You will sometimes get a shimmery bronzer. That's not what you want. You need to have a matte bronzer or a matte contour sculpting powder. It has to be matte. And that's what this one looks like here. So this one's slightly warmer than the Natasha one, but I'll show you what I do with that. I tend to mix the two. Now, for applying your contour, you can get various types of brushes as well. I like to use a sort of big fluffy brush, and then sometimes I also like to use a little skinny, more pointed brush. I actually use this to powder my face sometimes as well, but it's good for getting into the little more bits that you maybe want to make a little bit darker, and then you can use the bigger one to fan it out a wee bit more. But I kind of go between those two. You can also get little angled blusher brushes that are good for that as well, for getting right in where you need it. Okay, so I have already put foundation on, powdered, and that's about it. And I've got eye makeup on and my brows done. For my foundation, I used the number 7 Stay Perfect. It's a super light foundation. It's got an SPF of 15 in it. That one's quite a dewy finish, so if you've got quite oily skin, it's probably not a good one for you. For my concealer, now the writing's completely worn off in this bit. It was a Tarte concealer. It's not the Shape Tape. It was, I think it was their clay. Yeah, sorry, it's the Tarte Creaseless concealer, not the Shape Tape one. But I quite like this one. It's a bit thicker, and you need a tiny amount really on this. But it's got really good coverage. I do like that. And then I just powdered with my Charlotte Tilbury the Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I've got the shade number 1, so the fair shade. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my Natasha Denona Sculpting Powder, and I'm actually going to take my angled blusher brush for this one. Now, when you're thinking about contour, you need to think about your own face shape. So yeah, like I said before, my face shape is slightly rounder. I would like my cheekbones to pop a little bit more. If your face shape's quite oval and you're quite slim already in the face, you can still contour under your cheekbone. You just don't want to do it too much. You don't want to have a sunken in, kind of ill looking face. So you can still do it, but I would just keep it more just as a shadow. But I'll show you how I'm going to do that just now. And keep my hair out of the way, I'm just going to take it, and right where my ear is there, the little dip in my face, I'm just going to take it and just lightly brush down the way. And just start building up the colour. Now I'm coming in from my hairline here and I'm sweeping it round. And already you're starting to see a little build up of shading. Now there's different ways that you can apply it. I like to stipple on to start, and then sometimes I'll just go over the edges and just light circular motions, just buff in. I don't like to go in like this, no point. You may as well just, I find it makes your foundation can go quite streaky around it and underneath it. So I just like to press on to start. And you want to follow where your bone shape is. So like I said, when you pushed in here, you could feel that dip in your face, and you just want to follow that down around your cheekbone. Now for the darker shade, the Natasha one, I don't go down too far. I really keep it just sort of around the hairline and where it would appear to look a bit darker when it's shaded. So you can see that building up already and just giving me a little bit of definition on that side of my face. And same on this side, just taking it from where my ear is to my hairline and just bouncing it. And every so often just sort of smile into the mirror as well, and just to see how much it's lifting your face. And then I will take it up into my temples a little bit too. But again, I'm just bouncing the brush. We're now going to move on to the forehead. Now again, if you have quite a small, narrow forehead, there's no need for you to do this. The whole point in contouring is to shade the areas that you feel are too big or you don't want noticed, and to highlight is to accentuate the features that you want to show off more. So I like to, I mean, my forehead's not overly wide or big or anything like that, but just to keep it connected, I like to bring it up a little bit into my hairline up here. Again, if you've got a smaller shaped forehead, you can still do that, but again, don't go over the top with it. But if you feel like you don't need that, that's fine. I've took it up into my temples, and I'm now just going to connect it a little bit to the sides of my forehead. See, it just makes it just helps add shape to the face, especially after you've put foundation on. I think if you're using the right shade of foundation, it can always make your face look one colour and a bit flat. So this is why I find contour comes in handy. It just helps put a bit more dimension back to your face. And then I just like to shade a little bit under here. I feel like if I shade under here, it just defines my jaw a little bit more. But again, that's just a preference for me. If you find you do have a bit of a rounder face and a bit more sort of flesh under here, you can do that. If you're quite slim in the face already, then you don't need to do that. If you feel like your jaw sticks out here too much, you can go in and contour a little bit there if you want to recede it in a wee bit more. But I like that shape there on me, so I just want to pull this in a wee bit more. And this time I'm just doing little circular motions underneath. You can bring it up a wee bit. Again, it just helps add some shape to the face. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the nose. Now this is the area where I think you need to really decide how you want to contour your nose. All these makeup videos that you see, they all contour the same. They always do down the sides, a little bit on the tip maybe, and put a lot of highlighter down here. If your nose is quite small already, the more shading you put on, the more smaller it's going to look. If you want your nose to look a little bit bigger, fuller, you can always contour a little bit down the sides, but then you want to keep majority of your bridge unshaded. The more you shade it, the more it's going to look receded, like you've not got a nose. So if you've got a really small nose, you want to do less contouring and more highlighting. On the other hand, if you find you've got maybe a really wide flat nose, you can contour quite a bit down the sides here, so that your nose sort of looks a bit smaller this way, and then highlight down here. If you find that you quite like the shape of your nose, but you maybe have more of a bump here, you don't want to highlight that area. So although you can still sort of shade down the sides a wee bit, you might want to add a little bit of shading down here. You know, if you don't want to highlight something that you don't want to be noticeable all the time. So think about that on your own face. Just because you see other people always contouring down the sides of the nose doesn't mean that that's going to work for you. And just because you see them putting loads of highlighter down the bridge of their nose, it's not going to work for your face shape, your nose shape. So take into consideration your own shape of nose and decide where it is that you want to hide a little bit more, recede back a little bit more, make less noticeable, and the areas that you want to show off a bit more. So again, I'm going back in with my Natasha Denona, and this time I'm taking just a smaller brush for the nose. You don't need a gigantic brush for your nose, and it can just be a little short fluffy brush. That'll work just fine. So for my nose, I don't like to contour too much up here because I do find them quite narrow at the top here anyway. It's more to connect it, to make the tip of my nose look a wee bit narrower. So I'm just going to take a little bit of powder, and I'm just going to gently, little circular motions, just run that from the tip up this side a little bit. And you see how much that's shaded that already. And then same on the opposite side. I'm just going to do the same thing. And I'm just slightly connecting it around the tip of my nose there. But you just need to use gentle little circular motions, and you just need a tiny little bit of powder on your brush. But that is the sort of lighter version of sculpting your face if you're not wanting to go too over the top with it. If you just want to add a little bit more definition, if this is maybe still a little bit not enough for you, you can then go in with a sort of deeper, warmer colour. So I'm going to go in with my Too Faced bronzer now. I'm going to take my Fluffier Real Techniques brush now to do this. Pop a little bit on my brush. And we started back here with the Natasha powder. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to bounce over the top of it, but then bring it more down onto my cheeks a wee bit. Now, when you're contouring under your cheekbones, you don't want to bring it too far down here. You kind of want to stop about there where you can see your cheekbone. I would say it's just on the outer sort of middle of my eye, outer corner of my eye, that I tend to stop. And then I do use little swirly motions just as I come down onto the apples of the cheek, because it almost creates like a little blush effect as well. And then bounce it up again. And this, doing these different techniques like the bouncing and the sort of little swirly motions, all helps blend the contour a bit more. So you see it more building up there. If you find that you have got quite a severe line from what you've been doing, just go in with your powder brush and just whatever's left on it and just diffuse the line a bit more. And if you feel like you've went too far, just bring it back and just do little light swirly motions. So this is more of a gentle contour sculpting, and this is a bit more of a heavier. Again, if I was going on a night out, I would probably make this ever so slightly darker in the back and make it a little bit heavier. But again, this is just as more for an everyday contour look. So I'm just going to bounce it a little bit into my temple now, just to connect it. And you want to connect it into your hairline. The last thing you want is seeing like a white line going around your head. I'll see that with some people with their foundation. You want to blend it in. You can use little bouncy motions to do that. So by creating that little C shape there, that helps lift my cheekbone. And then tap it a little bit up on my forehead again, just where we've been before. And then under here again, just to blend it all in. I'll swoop down from my nose like this and connect it onto my cheeks a little bit, just so it's all blended and it's all connected. So that's me finished contouring my face. You can see a difference. I look like I've got a face now. It's not just one flat colour. I've got a bit of definition to it. To finish off, I'm going to show you now to highlight. Again, you can get cream formulas, you can get liquid formulas, you can get powder formulas. I would suggest if you're doing any if you are going to use like a cream or a liquid, which sometimes I do like to do, but I tend to mostly like to use the cream or liquid formulas on my cheekbones only. That's just my preference. I just sometimes like to show a bit more of a glowing effect, like glowing from within. So I'll sometimes put that on my face first after I've done my skincare routine, after I've moisturised. I'll pop a little bit on my cheekbones, and then once I do my foundation and things, it just helps create a bit more radiance from underneath your foundation, and then I would go over the top with a powder highlighter. Or again, if you are more mature skinned or really dry and powders tend to make you feel your skin feel a wee bit crepey and a wee bit dehydrated, go back and do a little bit of more cream highlighting just with your fingers and a little brush and just stipple it on if you prefer to do that if you find you're quite dry. So I'm going to use the Becca highlighter. It's a pressed powder, pressed highlighter by Becca, and this is in the shade, I think it's Moonstone. Yeah, it's Moonstone. This is one of my favourite highlighters of all time. I love Becca highlighters. They are beautiful, and she does cream, formula, liquid and powder. Sadly, I dropped mine and it crumbled into lots of pieces. So I've got my highlighting brush. This is just more like a domed shaped fluffy highlighter brush. You can get fan ones, you can get smaller ones for smaller areas. Again, like the little contour brush I used. If you prefer a smaller brush, you can do. Going in with my highlighter, I'm going to go and pop this on my cheekbones. And again, I'm just doing more of a patting motion just now. Like it. And then bam, it completely lifts that side of my face. And again, I bring it up into my temple a little bit too. I'm going to go into the other side. Same thing. I think choosing the colour of highlighter is very important for your skin tone too. You don't want anything, if you're quite tanned, you don't want anything too whitish looking on your face because it can just look grey. Again, you don't want anything too dark if you're pale because then it looks like a shimmery type bronzer. And I do bring it down a little bit onto the apples of my cheeks as well sometimes, just to give me that glow from within. And pop a little bit. Again, I don't have an issue with any bumps on my nose or feeling like my nose is really large or anything like that. So I do take a little bit just onto the bridge of my nose there. I don't always take it all the way down because I do find I can get a little bit shiny throughout the day. So there's no need for me to highlight my entire nose, otherwise I'll just look like the Tin Man. Which if that's the look you like, then you go for it. And I also like to highlight my Cupid's bow. It's a great way to help your lips appear a little bit fuller. And then sometimes I will just above my berry bone highlight a little bit there. So to finish off, I just added a little bit of lip gloss, which I used was the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. Not the new one, it's the first one she brought out. I don't think it's called Fenty Glow, it's a gloss bomb, but it's the more browner shade rather than the white one. This is a really nice lip gloss as well. It's not sticky, it's just a really nice gloss, and it's got a lot of shea butter in it actually, so it actually really helps condition my lips too. So I popped that on my lips and I just added a little bit of blush to the apples of my cheeks. I just used like an angled blusher brush, and I just popped on by stippling on, just by patting it onto my cheekbones and up into my contour a little bit more. It just helps add a bit of colour to the face. And I used the Zoeva Coral Spectrum palette. And it was this shade I used here, more sort of peachy coral colour. So that is the finished look. So I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you learnt something from it. Don't be afraid to play with makeup. That's what it's there for. There's no hard rules to it. Just have a play. If you like to have a full heavy contour, then that's fine, you can do that. I just thought this video would have been really beneficial for people who are maybe a wee bit scared to try contour because they think it should be heavy and full on all the time. It doesn't need to be heavy and full on all the time. It can be very natural looking and help just enhance what you've already got and not change your face shape too much. I also did this eye look off camera, but I have filmed it and it will be posted up next week's video. So if you like to see how I created this nice autumnal inspired eye look, watch out for it next week. Please don't forget to subscribe by clicking the button. You can also find a little bell somewhere that you can click on, and it'll just notify you whenever we post a new video. If you do want to leave a comment or ask any questions, feel free to do so. And remember to give it a wee thumbs up, this video too. I will pop in the description box all the products that I've used. Thanks again.